Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. I am here to discuss Real Housewives of Potomac season finale. Oh, thank God we are done with this treacherous season. I mean, it's not terrible, but I feel like the clips at the beginning made this season seem so big, and it kind of was a letdown. Not 100%, but kind of. I feel like there's stories they could have delved into that I really wanted to hear about, and they just didn't. Um, this episode starts off with Ashley talking to her son Dean, telling him that they're moving into their new house. Yay! Or not, right? Because she went ahead and still bought her house with Michael, a man that she is divorcing. It's like, girl, there's this one Nene Leaks video, and she says, "You're not smart. You're not smart." And that's how I feel about Ashley. Like, girl, you're not smart. You spoke to a lawyer, you spoke to your family, you spoke to the other housewives, you spoke to every single person in the world, and everybody said, do not buy a house with the man you are divorcing. But then when she was talking about it and talking about the mortgage being $13,000, and she can't afford it, it's like, oh, you're even less smart than I thought you were. You're divorcing a rich man and you're not getting enough in alimony and child support to be able to take care of yourself on your own. I wish her the best, but the best is not meant for people that messy and negative. That's what's going on, girl. You getting your due. Then we see a conversation between Karen and Mia, and Mia calls Karen to tell her what they talked about at the Bachelorette. And honestly, I don't even know why Karen was a conversation at the Bachelorette. Everybody at that Bachelorette that was talking about her supposedly can't stand her, doesn't like her, but couldn't keep her name out of their mouth. But I love because Karen goes, "Well, Mia, did you defend me? What did you say?" And Mia was like, "Well, no." And I don't think that Karen asked that because she's mad at Mia, because obviously she continued to talk to her. But I think she asked that more so because Mia tried to embarrass her at Karen's live show and make it seem like Karen wasn't a good friend. Like, girl, Giselle came to me and told me about you. And what did I do as your friend? I immediately came back to you and said, this is what Giselle said. Is it true? And then you confirmed it. So I said, wow, okay, Giselle, you're not wrong. But, whatever. I think that Karen and Mia's relationship is cool. I actually like Mia despite her craziness. She doesn't bother me despite her lies, her foolishness. I really don't mind it. I kind of like it. It's like messy, but not too messy. Not every statement you're making is messy. Some of it falls back on you. So it's like kind of a good mix. Then we see Robin and Juan talking. I mean, not Robin and Juan, but Robin talking to her parents about her and Juan getting married. And it's like, Miss Mamas, you still dragging this fake wedding on? That's what you're doing? And her mom was mad. And I think obviously she probably prepped them for the conversation so they knew it was coming and whatever. But at the same time, her mom is probably still gonna be mad. They took Juan in. They know Juan. They know you. And it's like, girl, to go get married. Because at this whole time, I thought she said after her brother's wedding. I thought it was her brother. So maybe her parents would be in Jamaica. But the brother is Juan. So the parents aren't even gonna be there. So I'm like, it's a little shady. Just a little. Like, girl, you're not even gonna have your parents. I mean, it's fake. It's fake, so it doesn't matter. But it just came off wrong to me. Mia went to the doctor with G. I'm so glad they had a doctor's visit because Mia, she just doesn't know how to tell the truth. And I really do think she was scared based on what they said, right? Like she could potentially have cancer. I get that. I once got a diagnosis from a doctor and I done called everybody I knew with panic. And the next time I visited another specialist, they were like, you're fine. But I completely get being scared. I get it because you're like, I don't know what to do. But I called everybody I knew that was my friend. I didn't go on the internet and start proclaiming things, and I think Mia should have taken a step back and just been like, I'm really nervous, called the people she knows and loves, But I think she kind of wanted a little bit of a storyline. I think she wanted a little bit of sympathy. But when she got to the doctor and she ran through what happened and she ends with, it's just a rash. Girl, I defended you. I had sympathy. I was like, you guys, Giselle is being so mean and everything. For it to be a rash, I'm disappointed. Okay. I'm just going to say that straight out. But then we see Giselle, she has a conversation with her daughters. And I don't know, you can feel how you want about Giselle, but I love when she's with her daughters. I love it so much because I feel like that's the only time Giselle can be genuine. Not just because it's her daughters and she's with them, but I think her daughters kind of hold her accountable and they don't even say too much. They just be looking at her like, okay. And I think because they don't give her anything, she has to like do more to pull out from her kids. And I love it. I think her kids are the sweetest, most adorable teen girls. So, any scene with her daughters in it, I love it. I think it's good to see her as a mother. That is who she is. She currently does not have a man or a husband. So seeing her with her daughters, that's her character right now, because she talks about going on a date with Steve, who we met in a previous season. And it's like, no one cares, not even your daughters, because everybody knows that you just be saying stuff just to say it. Maybe you did go out with Steve. Maybe you didn't. No one really even knows, right? Because you lie so much. But your girls weren't going to let you get away with trying to use that on them. They were like, okay. But then she got into her fibroids and having to remove her uterus. And I think that is really where we could have gotten a good story. I said it before, but this is something that affects so many women, so many Black women. And it's like you really had an opportunity to share a part of yourself, a part of your life, and people could have understood you, Giselle, instead of you being that little fake person that puts up a wall and just gossips about other people all day. We could have really gotten something from that story, especially the fact that she told her kids like, oh, after I got the news, I got into my car and broke down. Like, I would have loved to see that of Giselle. It's like, oh, she's real. She's a person that has these feelings and emotions. I mean, we saw her talk to Robin, and I like that conversation as well, but I feel like we could have gotten more of that. Just like I said, I wanted a doctor's visit with her. So we could have, as viewers, could have got more information of women, of what they should look out for, signs they should look out for. I mean, getting your yearly checkup. I think it would have been so cool. And Giselle, it was just a missed opportunity. I didn't like that, that she let that go. Her girls were so funny. I give the one daughter a pass because she's like, well, how are you going to pee? And honestly, uterus, urethra, they're very, very close in words, right? She was like, oh, my girls need a new lesson in biology. But hey, maybe that's what she thought you were removing, despite I don't know why she would think that. But you never know, right? So I did feel bad for her daughters in that. It didn't make me question any of their intelligence. I was like, they're good. It's easy to get mixed up. But I just think that Giselle, Bravo, Andy all missed a really good opportunity to use this show to kind of teach us more. And the fact that it's about women in her age range and younger, and like this can happen to anybody, it could have been a really good opportunity. Okay, now we get to Candace's party. Now, this is supposed to be the main event of this story. I mean, we all know by now they make them have these events and parties and travel probably for the show. Again, I don't know, because everybody was showing up to that party not knowing exactly what that party was for. People thought it was an album release. People thought it was an album re-release, but it was like a video release. In fact, I'm not too sure. I'm just talking. But yeah, it was, I mean, I know it was a video release, but I'm saying that, or a video re-release. Okay, so you know what? I actually don't. I'm sorry. Never mind. I know there was a video that was played with Trina, and I loved it. But that was what the event was for. I think that when Karen got there, she spoke to Giselle. When Giselle got there, she also spoke to Chris. And people were like, well, why is he talking to her, or why is she talking to him? But honestly, I think when you're an adult and you get into a space with another adult, you should be able to be cordial. You should be able to, like, I think it costs more energy to ignore people, to hate people, to be upset with people than it does to just say hi, bye, and move on and be cordial. But Giselle wanted to get a little pissy and be like, well, didn't Chris say that he wanted to talk to me? And it's like, okay, girl, yeah, he said that. But if you genuinely wanted to fix that problem, you would have called him personally. You wouldn't have waited till you saw him at his wife's event. You don't want to fix a problem. You just want to be messy. But yeah, so she said hi. Oh, my heater's going on. Ooh, this little robe was keeping me warm. I forgot it's so much colder outside. But yeah, so she just, you know, she's a messy person. I didn't believe it was genuine. Not one time has this Chris situation come up and I felt like Giselle was being genuine about it. Everybody showed up. Wendy, Robin was late. Charisse showed up. Let me take a brief moment to talk about Charisse. I've realized I don't hate Charisse. I think Charisse could be a good asset. She can come back. She could be a housewife. She can be, you know, promoted from friend of. But what I think Charisse needs to do, if she wants people to believe her side as the Queen of Potomac, is I think she needs to look it. Her biggest problem is every time I've seen her and she's come on my screen this season, she's looked an absolute mess. And by mess, I mean she looks tired, she looks worn out. And the thing is, I don't think she looks old. See, no, that's not what I'm saying. She don't look old. Because like, she's, I think, 2 years younger than Karen. I think they both look quite youthful. I think Charisse just looks tired. Like, literally, I am tired. The day has taken from me. I am a very tired person. I need a nap. I need rest. And I feel that as the Queen of Potomac, people shouldn't be able to see your tiredness. When you step out, you're the queen. That's who you are. You step out and you look good every single time. But that's her problem. She don't. She looked tired, she looked worn out, she looked a mess. And it's like, you want this title, Giselle, Robin, all these people are fighting for you. And it's like, I don't see it. And that's the problem. That's why it's so hard to believe. Karen steps out. Sometimes Karen's wigs, they be, whoo, especially in Mexico, they was doing what they wanted. But for the most part, when Karen steps out, Karen looks good, like really good. So it's like, when she says she's the grande dame, it's like, okay, well, baby, she looked good. She's holding it. She's holding herself together. She's presenting herself like the grande dame. But I don't think Charisse does that. And until she can get back to that, she's going to be a friend of or nobody until she gets it together in that respect. But back to the party. So Wendy confronts Mia about talking about her wanting her box. And it was like, I'm glad Ashley was there to be like, no, Mia, you said that. You were the one that was all over her. Because it's like, why y'all playing Wendy, girl? Wendy is not to be played with. Like, she is not that girl. Don't play with her. She is not that girl. But I'm glad. I think people are like, why did Wendy forgive her so easily? But I actually think Wendy forgave her because I think she looks at Mia as like a fool. Like, why be mad at this fool? Like, why waste energy on her? Like, obviously she hit me, she threw a drink on me, I'm mad. But at the same time, she don't know what she doing. She know, like, she's not worth the energy. So just forgiving her and moving on, I think, was what Wendy believed was her best course of action. Like, I'm not even gonna bother with having beef or drama with you. It's not worth it. And I agree. Like, there is a level that you have to take yourself down to as Wendy to have beef with Mia. And I don't think it's worth it. So I agree with her 100%. I am on her side of not giving it any mind and moving on. And then Giselle tells Karen, like, oh, Mia told you everything that happened. Did she tell you that she called you a prostitute? Now, Giselle, you know good and darn well, she did not call her a prostitute. She asked, and luckily Ashley was there to be like, no, she asked. Based on what you guys were saying, y'all was trying to sell a dream or sell it like that's what she was. So when she asked, she's not crazy. She's asking based on what y'all are saying. And then they showed the clip back and want to act like she was like, no, no, no. Everybody's saying, no, that's not what we're saying. So what are you saying? What are y'all saying? Because from what it sounded like to me, y'all trying to disparage her character. You're trying to make her seem like something she's not. So what are you trying to say? And Mia asked that. And so I don't like that Giselle has now proven to us time and time again that she will lie just to put extras, just to make something drama, just to make something a problem. We know that about her. And some people love it. And some people like me think it's like, you're 55, get it together. 52, 55, however old she is. But she's too old to be trying to play in drama like that. Like, girl, come on. Too old. Get it together. What else happened at the party? So that's right. After that, I guess it comes up about the Bachelorette, and Karen was like, I'm not talking to you, Cherise. Like, I'm just not having this conversation. If it was me, I wouldn't even acknowledge Cherise. I would literally just be like, she would talk, and I would just, because maybe you'll get the point. When I just don't say anything, maybe that's when you'll get the point that I'm not messing with you. You're not going to get your story from me. Get your story from Robin. Get your story from Giselle. But you're not going to get it from me. And if I just don't respond, if I literally just don't acknowledge you, maybe you'll go away. And that's what I think Karen should have done. But, then Mia pulls Karen aside to be like, no, there's other drama. Like, I heard you were dating some restaurant, the owner's best friend. And there's this face that Karen makes when people make up lies against her or tell her things that are true. Who knows, whichever one. And she goes, I can't even do it well, but I literally cry laughing every time I see it on my screen. Like, she makes this face, and it's supposed to be like, what the heck are you talking about? But it just comes off so funny. But yeah, she always does that face. And, after that, with Mia, her little run-in, she decides to leave, her and Ray, and then they show a clip of Robin saying like, oh, she always is trying to get out, so Ray doesn't hear what we have to say about her. And it's like, Robin, please don't be stupid. Like, you really, I think Karen called you the dizziest B word, and she's right. Like, you say things that don't make sense. Does Ray not have a television? Does he not watch the show afterwards to hear everything that you guys have said? You're not smart. I'm gonna start saying it about you too. You're not smart. Like, come on, think. Oh, people don't think. It bothers me. But yeah, so then, yeah, everyone's there, but Karen had left, and, Giselle's still complaining about how, like, oh, Chris said he wanted to talk, and now he's not talking to me or whatever, and Ashley's like, oh, me too. So she goes to, Giselle had already gone to Candace. Candace had told her, hey, this might not be the best time for you to talk to him because this is my event, and he doesn't want to be upset or anything. And Giselle might have been upset, but she understood, and she backed off. Ashley, on the other hand, goes and says, well, I'm going to talk to him anyways because I'm grown. No, you're an insolent little child. That's what you are. You think, but only when it's other people's spouses, other people. But when it's Michael Darby, you buying a house with him despite a divorce. You're a fool is what you are. And she goes over to Chris and she starts trying, first of all, she's telling she's telling Candace about how, her attractive friend, Candace is like, she looks like Sesame Street. Like, don't do this. And not just that, but we've already seen the clips. We know he didn't do what you're claiming. So then she walks over to Chris and starts saying, well, like, your behavior was still questionable. What about his behavior that we all saw on camera, that the girl approached him and started talking to him and making the remarks that she said he made? She made them. What is questionable about that? Like, Ashley and Chris, of course, exploded on her because it's like, girl, you are dumb. I have defended you to my wife for years for only you to come back and do me like this. Like, don't do me. Like, you could do someone else, but don't do me. Like, oh, I would have been so mad. And I get Chris's. People are like, oh, why is Chris arguing with women and going back and forth on Twitter? Y'all are talking about his character, who he is. Like, If he can't get mad, what is he supposed to do? Like, some of y'all are so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get upset right now, but some of y'all are dumb and I don't get it. But I agree with him, and I'm happy that he went off. And you know, at the season finale, they always show those little clips of like little after clips, like they freeze frame on the person and talk about where they are. I died because they freeze framed on the flower that they put for Karen instead of actually Karen. When they freeze framed on Mia, they said that her health is stable, unlike her finances. Like, they were going for the most maximum shade that they could possibly go for. It was just terrible. They announced that Giselle had her surgery, which was nice. And then we get a little after clip of Robin having a wedding. Yay! And her parents were there. So happy for them, because I know that's what they wanted. But did Robin get married? That's a good question, right? Does anybody, or has anybody seen the marriage certificate? Robin had a wedding. That is undeniable. Looked very good, very beautiful, like flower arrangement. She looked beautiful. I mean, I always think Robin is a beautiful lady, so that was never to be debated. But is she married? Is there a marriage license or a marriage certificate on file for her? Did that happen? I don't know. They said she did. I want to believe that. I'll believe that. But did it happen on 8/24/2022? I don't know. But there's a wedding that happened, and that's good. And her parents got to be there, and her kids, and she looked beautiful. So those are all positives. Yeah. But then right after her wedding, they put a little clip that Robin admitted 5 months after this that Juan did cheat. That face is for Karen, because she was right. And she said, not only did she say that Juan had a little girlfriend, she said Robin knew. And as it turns out, she did. But, you know, the problem with that little scene that they put in, not the wedding, but the little scene of talking about her cheating, it happened after the reunion was taped. So even though I'm excited for the reunion, I'm sad it's not going to include any of that. But I am excited to see the reunion. We don't have it this Sunday because of the Super Bowl, but we will get it the following Sunday, part 1, part 2, and part 3. And I will be here to recap all 3 of them. So until next time, you guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Please, please, please share this video and tell me what you think in the comments. I really want to hear. Until next time, see you guys.